having this conversation way too much after games like this. What becomes the focus at this point?
Finishing. Plain and simple finishing. That's what it comes down to. Had to lead the Arizona game, didn't finish. Had to lead the Chiefs game, didn't finish. Had to lead versus Jaguars, didn't finish.
Is there any point where there's a breaking point?
I don't know, but I think there's a point in every game when there's adversity. And to be a good football team, you have to know how to face adversity. And that's where we got to take the next step.
You know, I know when a veteran team that has been down that road before and fights back and wins games, that could build a habit as well. But conversely, is there a feeling sometimes like, oh man, the other shoe is going to fall here, just like it did a week ago or the week before that? And how do you fight that kind of a feeling?
Well, I don't know. Just me personally, I know a lot of guys on this team. You know, we had adversity in our lives. You know, so I just think back to just outside of football, just life. You know, just how I had to keep fighting in certain instances when it wasn't even football. It's life, and I know a lot of people can probably think the same thing. So we have to take those experiences in life and just bring them onto the football field so we can always just continue to fight even when it's tough, and eventually things will, the tables will turn.
What was the message from the captains this week to the team to try to turn things around?
To get back to the basics. Obviously versus Saints we didn't do anything well. Today we started out fast, but we didn't finish. So we did what we wanted to do for the first half, but then the second half, not the performance that we needed.
What do you think the message will be this week as you guys try to turn things around?
Finish.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Twice you guys got the ball in the fourth quarter after the missed field goal, and then after the make field goal, it's a game you can win or at least tie.
Yeah.
What was not happening on those last two drives?
Just got to make plays. It starts to me on the fourth down, but got to make plays, and that's just not what we're doing. We got to do it. I don't think people are slacking and wanting to lose, right? Everyone here wants to win. I think everyone's giving their best foot forward, but we have a little more of a sense of urgency, and practice. I feel like it's been good. We just got to go out there and make the plays on Sundays.
Did you feel like when you guys had those opportunities in the fourth quarter that it was going to happen? I mean, was that the confidence level?
Yeah, I mean, as a competitor, you ask everyone on offense, they've been on good teams. They've been on teams that, they know how to win. And so, it's just getting back to doing the little things that we need to do to win. And, when we go out there, we're expecting to score. It doesn't matter if it's in the first quarter or the fourth quarter. We have the confidence. We know we have good players, and we got to, hold ourselves to expectation to go score.
What's the focus now? 2-6. There's 9 games left. There's still time, but
well, I guess we were 10-7 last year. We made playoffs, so I guess the focus is winning next week, right? One game at a time, just trying to get better, trying to improve. It's been good. I remember Dolphins a few years ago. They started off 0-7, 8, then they went on a little run. So try to stay positive and not walk around like it's a funeral, right? Like stay positive. We get to play football for a living. It's the most fun ever, and to enjoy our teammates and to freaking win. At the end of the day.
Hunter, it's really tough, obviously, to try to figure out exactly what just happened so soon after a game. But it's the third time you guys have led by at least 17 and not ended up on the right end of the scoreboard, so to speak. Is there a common theme that you're seeing now in those 3 games, if nothing else?
Yeah, they come back and win. But that starts, that's not, you can't pinpoint one thing, right? Like, you might want to say it's play calling, but then we got to go out and execute. And then, they call a good play, and then you might want to say it's us, right? So I think it's everything together, right? I think, we're good enough to make the plays. We're good enough to win. And, it's us that got to go make them. And we know that, and, we got to go do it.
What's kind of been the message from the captains to this team throughout this stretch?
Stretch meaning?
The last
two games?
a couple of games,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a week, right? So still digesting it a little bit, but just keep plugging away. Keep keep hitting the nail with the hammer, and hopefully look up and we're better and we're improved, and we're coming together as a team. Thanks.
What didn't happen on those last two drives?
I mean, we got to execute better. I mean, we had a chance to go down there and tie it and win, and our execution wasn't there. I thought we just got to go back, learn from it, execute better next time.
You guys are up. It's 17-0, and then I think 20-3.
Yeah.
Things are rolling. Can you put your finger on anything that didn't?
I mean, it's 60 minutes a game. It's not a 30-minute game, so we just got to play better in the second half. We did some good things in the first half. We just got to do those in the second half.
What becomes the focus now moving forward? I mean, it's 2 and 6. There's 9 games left. Time's kind of running out.
Keep going back to work. I mean, learning from mistakes, doing our job, and making sure that we don't have this happen again.
Thank you. Davante, I think it's pretty obvious you're frustrated and angry right now. You get the ball in the fourth quarter twice with a chance to either go win it or tie it. What's going through? What's happening in those huddles, and for it not, or I guess just for it not to happen when twice getting the ball in the fourth quarter like that? What does it come down to, I guess?
Execution in critical moments, figuring out a way. Everybody doing their job. Football is the most team sport that there is, so it just comes down to everybody doing their job in those tough times. I mean, it's when it's going to be really hard. It's going to be tough at the end of the game. They're going to do what they do on defense to try to make it difficult for us, and we got to find ways to still make plays. And I just feel like we just not executing the way that we need to when it really matters right now, and that's hurting us. We had a solid first half, something that we could, obviously things you could do better, but I feel like we did a decent enough job to still put ourselves in a decent, position, moving into the second half. And then we just basically fell apart. I don't even know how to even characterize it, but it's frustrating because ain't no way we should be losing games, at the rate that we are, let alone the way that we are. And I got to make over the middle at the end, I got to make a play on that ball. But it's just, it's everybody. It's I got to do my job. Guys, front got to do their job. Quarterback's got to do his job. Running back's got to pick up and make plays when it comes down to it. And you got to do it when it really matters. And we didn't do that.
Davante, it's obvious that it's hard to put an exact pinpoint on what happened today so soon after the game before you look at the tape. But it's the third time you guys have been up by at least 17 and not been on the right end of the score at the end of the game. Is there a common theme there besides what you just mentioned maybe?
You just got to continue doing whatever it was that put you in that position. I feel like we've gotten away from that too many times, whether it was just the way that we decided to attack them or just the execution. Like I said, just finishing plays because, the players make the plays. It's not the scheme and all of that. That helps you. But at the end of the day, you can't put it on the coach to, that's just the way I think about it. I feel like, especially, if you got a freaking high school team, then that's one thing. But if you got a bunch of grown men been doing it for a long time and had success in this league and know how to win games, you got to find a way to win them. And, I think that, the way we were attacking in the first half was, it was working to a certain extent. Obviously, like I said before, we could be better, but it was working. And I feel like we got away from that and, started playing the game a little different. And that's not the way we got to do it. We got to take the field, be ready to make plays, and convert on whatever's called.